Hi again, it's me, Cinnamon. I'm a 24-year-old working a corporate job who loves all things personal finance, especially budgeting. And today I will be showing you what I did with my second paycheck of October. I'd already filmed the budget video, but the audio came out badly because I was using the wrong mic, so I am refilming and I didn't want to undo my moves, so I'll just be going over recent moves with you guys and also showing you some of the new ways I'm going to be thinking about money and handling budgeting, but also handling budgeting a little bit less. Let's get into it. First, I want to go over my income. So for the month of October, or for that second paycheck, I did see my base salary increase. My promotion raise had been applied. So in terms of my base salary, I think it's like a 13% increase. So I went from $5,900 per paycheck to $6,700 per paycheck. And in addition to my base salary increase, I also got additional stock granted. So that is something I'll definitely talk about when I show you how I'll be moving forward with budgeting. But yeah, just focusing on that, that is on the base salary side, how my income increased. Typically, when your income increases, what you pay in taxes also increases. But I feel like what I paid in taxes actually just went down overall because in September I had hit the max of what I was contributing to Social Security. Like everyone has a max that the government takes for your Social Security contribution, and I had hit that max. So if we look in the past, I was contributing about 350 per paycheck to Social Security. This one was lower because this is when I hit the max. And yeah, basically I got like $700 back per month, right? Because I'm no longer going to be contributing to that. So I feel like my income on top of the raise is going up because of that. Also, if I sound funny, it is because I'm making the best effort to go back to wearing my retainers because I broke my last retainer, I think, because I wasn't wearing it enough. And I got this replacement for free, but I know the next replacement is going to be around $900, which is insane. I feel like braces are not this like one-time expense or this like ongoing, extremely expensive investment, and my teeth were like never crooked. I just wanted to close the gap, and I feel like it was a lot of money for that result that I honestly don't really have because gaps, at least the gap I kind of have, is really hard to close because your teeth just like have a way of wanting to be shaped. Anyway, this is a rant, but yes, I'll be wearing my retainer more often, so please bear with me. So after I covered my taxes with that paycheck, I also contributed to my dividend taxes. This is me setting money aside to prepare for what I'll have to pay in tax due to how much I made from dividends this year. I showed what I made in dividends in September. Let's see if I can show that. So I made about $500 in dividends in September. So in October, I set aside $154 to cover the taxes on that income. Next, with my paycheck, my 401k contribution came out and my HSA contribution came out. My HSA contribution was the standard amount, but my 401k contribution went up since my base salary went up, and the way I have the settings configured, I have it configured to be a percentage of my base salary. So now I'm contributing 1,000 per paycheck to my 401k, and I'm just on track to max it out by my last paycheck of December with the smallest margin. I really wish I could set up my 401k to just take out a fixed amount and not be percentage based, but it's fine for now that it's percentage based because I'm pretty much taking out just as much as I need to max it out in time. Before I get into my taxable brokerage investments, I want to talk about what I did with my first two paychecks, which is my standard covering my next month's holding, and then also putting in $727.47 towards my sinking funds. So it's going to show negative now because I moved things around after I put that in, but I had filled up both of these line items to my desired amount. So after I had done all of that, I put the rest of my money towards my investing goal. I had already hit my baseline investing goal, so now I'm filling up this line item and I was able to put $3,222.67 towards that goal. As you can see, I am still not green on it, and what I will need to be green in November is a really high amount, $4,658, which is not close to what I am currently like able to put into my taxable brokerage every month. I'm not sure if I will be able to hit my goal, but I'll show a little bit of my November forecast to let you know what I'm thinking about progress towards that. So aside from all the standard stuff, I did do a lot of moving money around. So let's look into my core spending. I didn't do that much moving money around in my core spending. I just added some more money to my commuting expenses because I have a scheduled transaction that I needed to make sure I had enough money for. And that would be all there. Then for specific sinking funds, I took the extra money out of my Korea fund and moved it into my holding category. And from my holding category, I funded an additional $800 for driver's ed to get me back to the 1200 I want to put towards driver's ed. That's going to come out to 6 classes. So I'm thinking I'm going to do 4 classes in November and 2 in December. And then for the last 2 weeks of December, I'm planning to be in New York. I was looking up flights briefly and they're around $300, which is not bad. I have to buy them like now though because I'm going to New York around Christmas time, which is so busy. I feel for New York because my family is based there, my boyfriend's family is based there. I don't have to cover housing, and I don't think I'll have that much to cover in food. And even if I did, I would just use my core spending categories to cover that. So I only beefed it up an additional $300 just because I like the number 600, to be honest. But I don't think I'll really be spending much outside of my flight in this category. The reason I'm even going to New York during Christmas time is because my boyfriend's apartment building in New York has so many fun amenities and it's basically like staying at a resort. So I thought it'd be like a fun, actual mini chill, like resort style vacation, which is what I'm realizing from myself is how I like to travel in the short term. So that is what I did in those categories. And I debated moving money out of these two categories, but I did set some goals for the rest of the year that I want to go to the doctor at some point. I'm like pseudo nervous to go because I'm really worried like something is going to be wrong with me. I've never had this fear before because I've never been like sick, like really get sick. But now I've been getting sick like a lot, so I'm really nervous something's going to be wrong with me. But I decided 2024 has been a bad year, so I'd rather get like bad medical news in my bad year than drag it into 2025. So I'm gonna go, even though, it's kind of not the best idea to work towards your deductible late in the year, but it doesn't matter because I'm not expecting to like have to hit my out of pocket max or something or beyond my out of pocket max in the last 2 months of the year, which will really be like the last month of the year because I won't have time to go to the doctor in November. In addition, I have $90 in this fund that I'm supposed to be using for furniture removal, and I just need to do it now and get it over with. So, those are my goals, and these amounts here are reminders of those goals. And I think that is actually all. It is so crazy how short giving the summary is because, trust me, guys, when I was filming, I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it was such a long video. But now the summary is so clean and so short, so I get to take you to something else I've been thinking about. Uh-oh, that is the chaotic portion. Let's go up here. So just looking at my budget forecast tabs, there's something special about the month of November that just makes me want to get my life together. Like I started November 2022 doing this budget forecast. Again, November 2023, I went back to it, and now we're back in November 2024, and I'm doing it again. Even though YNAB is super anti-forecasting, I feel like I don't really just like dealing with everything on this 2 week basis. I want to be able to really truly be a month ahead and look at things like the month before. So I'm changing my forecasting a little bit to be more YNAB friendly, but I'm still also doing forecasting. So let's just get into what I'm doing and how I'm changing it. So in the past, what I would do is I would take my gross income remove like my paycheck deductions, add in anything that I was pulling from my sinking funds, and then budget from there. What I'm actually doing now is a little different because what I'm doing is I'm looking at my gross income, taking again out my deductions, taking out what I'm contributing to the future, which is what I'm calling my allowances. So my core spending allowance, which is what I put into my next month fund, my sinking fund allowance, which is what I put in my sinking fund holding, and something that I will be figuring out more, especially going forward, is just like a giving allowance. Like I want to have a budget towards giving. Um, yeah, so those are my main three allowances. Taking that out and then looking at what's remaining, and I know this remaining number is what I'm targeting to invest. So this will let me forecast at the beginning of the month how on track I'll be towards my investing goals. I won't necessarily change my allowances to tweak this number because I want to just allow myself to spend. That's my approach. Like, I want to allow myself to freely spend. So, it's not really going to involve me tweaking numbers, but it is going to basically soothe the anxious part of my mind that is like constantly confused now about whether I'll be hitting my investing goals because my income situation like didn't turn out how I expected it to from my yearly forecast. So that is this first top portion of my budget forecast, and it's really just forecasting what I think I'll be able to invest for the month. Then aside from that, there's this bottom portion where I'll basically be dealing with my working capital, which is really just looking at everything that I have available to spend in YNAB, and it's going to focus on what I really truly usually look at as my like free spending categories. So I'll look at, what I have in discretionary spending usually. I'll look at what I have in my sinking fund holding usually. Like these are usually the only two that I'm looking at. But if I know I'll be pulling out of a core spending category or I have completed a sinking fund and has some additional rollover, I can add that in here as well. So that's what relevant rollover means. And I also will pull from my month ahead fund and have that just be the bucket of money that I know I can spend for that month. And from there, I will look at my core spending, cover what I have to do with that, and also think about what abnormal, irregular things am I doing this month that I also want to know if I have enough money for. So, all of these things I haven't populated yet really well because, and this is like super old information, because I haven't really thought yet about what I'm going to do in November, but that is like what I'm going to be doing going forward. And I feel like it makes so much sense for me and it really allows me to have a plan and it really lets me understand that my budgeting isn't just one process. It's really just, for me at least, it's just two. There are two main questions that I have to answer, which is how much can I invest? And from my allowance, what can I do with my month? Those are like my two primary questions. And I have to have flows for answering those questions like independently. So that is what's going to be happening going forward. And I think I'm going to be able to communicate what I'm doing much clearer in my videos because I will have this plan at the beginning of the month. Now, on top of this, I'm also having this realization where I've actually been able to answer something that has always confused me, which is why do extremely rich people work? And I think something that like I hear or what I hear a lot of people like answer that question with is, oh, they work because they enjoy their job. Which like yes, to some extent, but that wasn't really a satisfying answer for me personally. And what I have realized as I've been budgeting, also like looking into things related to the fire community and all of those things, is that earned income is way easier to have than a high net worth. So it's really much easier to find a job that pays you $100,000 a year than it is to save enough money to pay you $100,000 a year in passive income. Because to do that with the 4% rule, you would have to save $100,000 times 25. And yes, you do have compounding in your favor, but compounding is like the length of your life at this point, right? So that is why rich people work because the amount of money they want to spend, it is very difficult to get that amount of money from passive income. It's not impossible. People can do that, within a 40-year time frame, sure. But to do that within a shorter time frame, if you're someone who wants to live off $100,000 a year in your 30s, it's going to be much easier to find a way to earn $100,000 a year from a job than it is to save, even with investing $2.5 million. That is just something I'm starting to realize. So, because of that realization, even though I want to continue to invest aggressively for other reasons, mainly I want to set up what I have in my taxable brokerage as a way for me to generate passive income that I can contribute to my parents' expenses. So until I have that number for what I want to give to my parents, which I will definitely make in another video, talk about that more, especially when I talk about my giving allowance. That's something I'm really trying to figure out still. But yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. Even though I'm still in a phase where I'm definitely going to invest aggressively, I also am trying to think about how can I increase my earned income? Like, that is actually, I think, the question on my mind, and it's sort of resonating with me a lot more as the way to achieve my financial goals, the sort of, I don't even want to say lifestyle I want, because the amount of money I want to earn, actually, I don't even plan on spending the vast majority of it. So I don't even know what to say about that. That's like a whole different psychology I have to look into within myself. But yeah, I'm totally going on a tangent because this is something I'm still really trying to formalize for myself to better understand. And I can't wait to like share more with you guys about that, because I still feel like there's this gap in finance YouTube when it comes to genuinely increasing your earned income. And I'm not talking about like the drop shipping bros, like that doesn't resonate with me. And it's not just like side hustles either, like small side hustles either, but how to get into roles or build real businesses, not like scammy businesses that can earn you millions of dollars a year in like a salary sort of way, not revenue, right? So, okay, I'm gonna definitely have to re-listen to what I'm saying at this end portion because I'm all over the place. My brain is just like getting excited thinking about this, so it's like making connections and wanting to talk about so many points all at once. I think relating it to fire, because I'm sure a lot of people watching are interested in fire, it's kind of that barista fire mentality where if you want to fire and you need to maybe make up $10,000 deficit in what your investments can cover versus what your spending is, you can very easily do that by finding a way to make $10,000 a year, or you can wait it out and try to get another $250,000 in investments. And I'm reading more articles about people deciding the reason why I will barista fire is because the ease of making $10,000 a year exceeds that of trying to invest so much more. And you get that time back as well. So I guess I'm kind of more leaning towards barista fire, but I'm actually completely done really with the concept of fire, because to me, what I think would be best for me financially is to have an enjoyable and sustainable way to make a high amount of earned income. Like, that's actually the true, to me, perfect scenario that I also feel is more realistic as well. Anyway, the ramblings of a mad woman, but I am so excited to share more about that. So it's not going to be really budgeting focused, because as I'm getting into the weeds of budgeting, it's feeling actually divorced from what I'm realizing is my true financial goal of finding this enjoyable and sustainable way of having a high earned income. And if I achieve that goal, I'm not really going to need to be in the weeds of certain financial things as much, especially as I've developed already this habit and mentality around putting money away and living within my means and all of that good stuff. So I'll definitely keep budgeting. I mean, we'll see, because I don't even know how long it's going to take me to, reach my income goals, like my income goals. Like, I'm right now working on getting a job that's going to put me in the like 300K range, like 360 is my target, but my income goals are probably like 3 million. Honestly, I want to work in like an executive position in a tech company. Like that's my long-term goal, if not my own company. So anyway, I'm telling you guys too much. I'm telling you guys too much. Let me get off YouTube, edit this video, and talk to you guys later. Goodbye.